I'm going to go one by one, talking about in each of your industry segments, where you see, what's your vision for what's going to happen. Matthew, we're going to start with you because I know you've been talking about what's going to happen with now travel advisors for years. So where do you see the travel advisor community going?
Yeah, well, first of all, a couple of years ago, I actually, I just kind of remind people, I coined a phrase called the hottest new thing that never went away. Because actually, I'm sitting here before you because when I was in my early 20s, I met a group of travel advisors that absolutely blew me away about just how much their clients loved what they did for them, how valuable they were to them, et cetera, et cetera. So when you talk about a travel advisor versus a transactional travel agent, there really is a difference. And I don't mean that in a negative way. A great transactional travel agent can still be very valuable. But the bottom line is, the evolution of the travel advisory business is, and if you want to look at a correlating industry, look at what a travel agent used to be and what a stockbroker used to be, and how those two industries have bifurcated between transactions and a true advice, and looking at the holistic nature of the relationship. I always tell our travel advisors that if you say that you're in the business of booking travel, you've literally lost before you even started. Because, you know, saying that you book travel is like walking into any high-end retail store and like being thrilled because the person knows how to ring the cash register. It's kind of like everything else. That's kind of an assumption. So one of the ways that I think about it is, you know, we live in a world where there's information overflow. Yes, digital is important. We keep forgetting sometimes when I spoke in front of some tech conferences. I'm all for AI. I actually think AI is going to be one of the greatest things that ever happened to human interaction, because it's going to address a concept that I call automate the predictable so that you can humanize the exceptional. So the reality is the application of technology that way. But I think what you're seeing is, you're seeing an evolution in travel advising that's moving more and more towards design, towards simplification, towards having more fun. And I think one of the biggest trends is the ability to help people. If you go to a wealth advisor, that's why I talk about the analogy. You go to a wealth advisor, you would ask yourself the question, why would I spend mind share and energy to have a conscious plan on how to optimize my financial assets, but not have a more conscious plan and I'll put a little bit more effort into managing my most valuable non-renewable asset, my free leisure time, and the quality of that time. So one of the evolutions that's happening in our industry that I think is at the forefront is we are building digital platforms and other ways of helping the customers of our advisors actually create longer-term life experience plans. We've built digital apps where the youngest person to use it is 6 years old, and the oldest person to use it is 86 years old, and it's actually capturing the life experiences and ideas that people want to do within a family, and creating all kinds of really cool conversations around the family table. Husbands and wives finding out that they didn't know that one of them wanted to go here and there. So I think the general direction of our industry is to be much more about the longer term planning, the design, the simplification, and then also we live in a world where everything is accessible. So for example, 20 years ago, we had this quote unquote secret sauce that we had all these special guides and all these special resources around the world, and now there's findaguide.com. So the battle is no longer going to be, I can find a guide, but you don't have my guide. And I believe in something else that's very powerful. The power of human connection in actually improving the experience of a customer. The quality of the relationship between two people can actually improve the quality of the experience for the customer. I call it, you can't take the human out of humanity. So if I've actually spent time meeting people around the world, because I don't just know that hotel or I don't just know that, but I have a relationship, something magical happens. So we're focusing on human connection, on the ability to use digital platforms to actually improve long-term planning, connection, and it's a really exciting time. And I think one thing that our profession has is that the diversity of our advisors matches the diversity of the clientele out there. So the ability to be able to express nuances of value intergenerationally, culturally, etc., is very important going forward.